Hello and welcome to the Spargur Yarn Crafts channel. My name is Will Spargur. I am your host. I am coming to you from Henderson, Nevada, where I live with my two dogs, Princess and Duchess, my roommate Delilah, and her dog Duke. And today is episode 52. We're on 52 now. And so real quick, if you've never been here before, thank you so much for clicking on my video and coming to join me and this wonderful community of fun fiber arts. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. If you like this video, share it with your friends, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe if you like my content. So anything that you're looking for in terms of social medias or anything like that is going to be in the video description box below. There's a lot to go through, so I'm not going to touch on everything. However, you can find my Instagram and I think I have a Twitter. Anyway, my personal stuff is in there, and then also the stuff for my business, which is Spargur Yarn Co, where I dye yarn and sew project bags and maybe something else, which we're going to talk about later in the week. So you can find all of that information, any of the tools or things that I use, or any of my filming equipment has Amazon affiliate links in the video description box below as well, so you can check all of those things out. So yeah, just a little bit of admin real quick. So the trend with podcasts, for knitting podcasts or fiber-related podcasts, is, people sit down and they talk about what they've been doing since the last time they filmed, and that can be anywhere from 1 week to 3 weeks to a month. But sometimes the videos end up being really, really long. Like, I think the Grocery Girls recently hit 2.5 hours for filming, and that is just... that's a lot. That's a lot of time to sit and to watch someone talk about yarn and knitting. And I love those things. Like, I love doing it, but I find that I am starting to break them up, and I'll watch bits and pieces of podcasts throughout the week. So what I'm going to try, and I'm going to see if you guys like this, and if you don't, we'll go back, but I think this is going to work better for me in terms of having a little bit more consistency with the uploads. I'm going to try filming each different segment of the podcast separately and releasing them Monday through Friday. So you'd have a video every Monday through Friday. The great thing about that, though, is that I can film it on one day, on like a Saturday, but each video would be uploaded separately and be available Monday through Friday. So the schedule would be like, Monday would be works in progress, Tuesday would be finished objects, Wednesday would be shop related stuff, any shop updates or anything interesting like that. Or, so Wednesday and Thursday are going to kind of be just whatever's going on. So could be shop updates, it could be tutorials if I'm doing a tutorial, if we're doing any kind of knit along or crochet along or make along. That information might go there. So there's a few different things that we can fill in for Wednesday and Thursday. Maybe reviews, if I'm trying to get back into doing reviews, and I'm thinking about these things as I'm trying to plan out this new schedule. So, reviews might fall in somewhere Wednesday and Thursday. And then Friday, if I have anything, would be life updates. So Fridays would kind of be like, if you're not really here for my personal life, Fridays would just be like an optional thing. But if you like all of the yarn-related stuff and the life updates, you would have a video Monday through Friday. I'm going to try that. I'm going to see how that works. I think that's going to make things a little more consistent. I think that's also going to kind of help me break down what I want to remember to put into all of my videos, so that I don't have to try and cram it all together. And that way, I think also the shorter videos will help. Really, it just kind of... I think people lose attention, or they just, after 15, 20 minutes... I've seen enough, moving on. So in this way, you can get your little chunk in and then move on to, whatever it is that you want to watch next. So I think that's just going to kind of, I feel like sometimes I just waste a lot of time. I think maybe only about 15 to 20% of the subscribers actually make it through the whole video. So I think in this way, it'll give people more opportunities to see all of what I have to offer, but it also gives people the opportunity to kind of just watch what they want to watch. And so I think we're going to try that. I think that's what we're going to do. So this video, we're going to go over the works in progress. So I do have 4 things to show you. Some of them you've seen, some of them you haven't. So we're going to go over that. And then I believe We're also, the next upload should be finished objects, and I think you'll probably be getting WIPs, finished objects, and then maybe a shop update all in the same day, depending on how things get uploaded. But you might have all three of those in one day, because I'm filming this on a Tuesday. This is when I decided to change my schedule. So anyway, let's start with works in progress. I'm just going to grab whatever's randomly down here at my feet. And we have an asymmetrical shawl that I'm working on. I just started this yesterday or 2 days ago. This is worsted weight yarn. This is a superwash merino, 100% merino. And this is US... Why is it only on one needle? 6s. US 6s, which is a 4.0 millimeter. This is an early version of Echoes of the Mojave. I have done much better versions of this, and I've actually finally written down the recipe so I can repeat it in the way that I want it to show when I dye it. Now, this is just, it's a basic shape. I've used this shape in a couple of different shawl patterns in the past. But what I'm doing is, so I started off with garter stitch. Let's see if I can get this to focus on the shawl and not my face. Well, anyway, garter stitch, and then I just kind of threw in some stockinette here, and then another garter, and then some more stockinette, and then garter, and then I did a 3x2 ribbing here. I think I'm going to do a few more rows of that. And then I'll go back to garter, and then I think I might throw in a lace pattern here or there. Just to... I'm trying to use up as much yarn as I possibly can before everything reopens and I can spend money I don't have on yarn. So I have some things that have been caked up that... Actually, I used this before. I crocheted this into a wrap that I just really hated. So I ripped it all out. I think there were 3 skeins in that, and I've used 2 of them for something else. So this was what was left. So I'm going to use this, and, you know, this is how much I have left of that skein. So it'll probably be... I've got 2 other skeins caked up of worsted weight yarns, and I'll just throw them in here. I'm not trying to think color coordination or specific patterns or anything like that. This isn't even like an original, like it is an original design to me, but I'm not writing it down. I'm just, whatever feels right at the time, I'm going to throw in there and just go with it. And I'm doing that to use up yarn, to have something to do with my fingers that doesn't feel like it has to be done or that I have to do it any specific way or that it has to look right, just to use up yarn and make something that I can either give away or keep for myself. So that's kind of the idea with this little shawl. It's very little right now, but it will get much bigger. So that's the first one. And then in this bag we have, yes, okay. So I believe in a previous podcast I told you guys that when I went to Stitches West, I met the dyers of Anzula Luxury Fibers, and they gave me some yarn to do an original design for them. And that is what this is. I'm doing a cowl. It is a colorwork cowl. So there are floats on the back. I have not done colorwork in finger and weight, so this is an experience. This is going to be similar to the binary cowl that I did. That was my name translated into binary code, and then the 1s and 0s became the colorwork pattern. I'm doing that, but with Anzula Luxury Fibers being the binary code, and I've split it up and I've made the color chart. So right now I'm just kind of doing, this is the bottom, so I'm just doing this beginning kind of stockinette corrugated ribbing. And then after I get 10 rows of that, there'll be 2 more plain stockinette rows of the gray, and then we'll go into the colorwork pattern. I think I'm going to repeat it 3 or 4 times. Then it'll be 4 more rows of neutral color, And in there somewhere, I'm going to do a decrease because we're going to do 5 color repeats for the bottom. We're going to decrease to 4 color repeats for the second section, and then it'll finish off. If I'm weighing yarn as I go, I should have enough. Finish off with 10 more rows of this corrugated ribbing and then 4 more rows of garter at the bottom. If I get through the colorwork pattern on the second half and I don't have enough for this corrugated ribbing at the top, I'll just go straight into the garter and finish off. But I am writing this down as we go. Again, this is fingering weight. This starts off with a cast on of 200 stitches, and this is being worked on US 4s, which is a 3.5 millimeter needle, and it's on a 16-inch circular. I did try going up to the next circular because this is really bunched up. And it's actually not wide enough to fit around the next size up circular, so I have to stay on the 16, which is fine because I'm going to decrease and I would have to go back down to the 16 anyway. So that's what I'm working on for them. And as soon as I get a little bit more work on that, I'm definitely going to show it. I've been practicing my continental knitting so that I can be a little bit more confident in my color work because I hold one in both hands when I do color work. All right. The next one I've actually been working on. I made this giant Star Wars bag. So this fits a sweater project, which is what's in here. Oops, we're almost losing needles. So this is my worsted weight top-down raglan with a little shallow V-neck there. And this yarn curls a lot. So it's a little longer than it looks like it is. It's probably got another inch or two if I can hold it down. But I am loving knitting on this project. It is a little bit slow going, and that's okay. I've been working on other things. But this is it's mostly worsted weight. You can go back to some of the previous podcasts where I talk a little bit more about this yarn and how this project came to be. But this is hand dyed by me. Well, as you can see, it like changes thickness. It's a single ply, mostly worsted. So it does get down to like fingering thickness in places and then back up to worsted. So it's a very almost boucle, but by the time you get it all knit up, it doesn't really look all that different. And I'm really loving the variations in the dye job here. It's gorgeous. Yeah, so this is on US... Whoop, I'm knocking things over. This is on US 7s and 7s, yes, it's 4.5 millimeter. And this is how much, dang it, I have left of the first ball. So all of this, by the way, has been a single skein. Because the skeins I dyed for this were huge. This is half of what one skein was. And I mean, this is probably about 100 grams, maybe a little less. So like, compare that. It's huge. And that's only half of one skein. So this sweater, luckily, because it's the same dye job, I don't have to alternate anything, which is awesome. I can just keep knitting and keep knitting. And again, like I said, all of this has been one skein. So I love how as I keep going, it looks like it's striping. What's really funny is I can't see that in person. It only does that, he only does that on camera. Well, that's cool. I still like it. So yeah, that is the third work in progress. And I have one more. This is kind of my baby right now. I haven't been working on it as much because I really have to have some dedicated time for this. Oops, hold on, we got things caught in here. Okay. This is my second Sacred Space Afghan. Sacred Space is by Helen Shrimpton. And this is it's such a gorgeous, gorgeous pattern. I'm on part 5 right now. and it's just, I love it. And so I did the middle here up to the black is Stitch Studio by Nicole Cotton Colors. That was a yarn from AC Moore, and now that they've closed all the AC Moores, Stitch Studio by Nicole no longer exists, as far as I'm aware. So that was the middle. Then this second skein that I've used actually started with black, and then it has changed from the black to the pink to the blue to the yellow, and then the yellow will go to a very light orange and then back to pink. And so I've started one of the last rows of the pattern, and the yarn that's got the color, it's something from Hobby Lobby. I can't remember. I think it's a 50% acrylic, 50% cotton. I don't normally shop at Hobby Lobby, but my mom was there and she asked if I wanted any yarn, so am I gonna say no? So yeah. And then when this is done, I think I have Red Heart It's a Wrap, which is a similar gradient yarn, and I think I'm gonna use that. And if I still need more yarn, I'll order some. I'm trying not to, but if I need more yarn, I'll order it. Yeah, so Sacred Space by Helen Shrimpton. This is being worked on a 3.5 millimeter hook. So yes, this is crochet, by the way. This is crochet. And I'm using my 3.5 millimeter red and nickel Odyssey, Furls Odyssey hook. This is one of my favorite hooks. Furls are some of my favorite crochet hooks. They are a little pricey. I think this was $33. They are a little pricey, but for the quality and just these inspire me to crochet so much and so often. And I didn't buy a bunch at once. I kind of, one here, one there, and now I've got a full set. But they really are my absolute favorite hooks. I can crochet for hours without my hands hurting. It's definitely worth the money, in my opinion. The streamlines, which are wood hooks. So the reason I bought an Odyssey is because the wood hooks only go down to 4 millimeter, and I wanted something smaller for the fingering weight. But the streamlines, if you're used to working with worsted weight, like DK or worsted, the 4.5 to 6.5 millimeter streamlines, I have a full set of those. Those are really, really nice. I really like mine. I have the ebony wood. I think those are $19 or maybe $19.50 or somewhere in the $20 range is how much those were. And I bought one at a time. So, yeah. I can't wait to finish this. God, I love this thing. So it's pretty much cotton. I don't normally like cotton, but I'm actually really enjoying this. So, yeah. Stuff that in there. Okay, so that does it for my works in progress for this week, and so works in progress for episode 52. Stay subscribed to the channel and hit that little bell for notifications for when the other videos do go up. I do plan on trying to stick with this schedule. Let me know if you like this idea or if you don't like this idea of having the scheduled shorter videos. I think it's going to be better for people, but I don't know. I don't know your home life situation. I don't know what you're up to. So, yeah, let me know what you think. And I'm going to try this for a few weeks, see how it goes for me, how it goes for you, and then we'll make a decision from there. But thank you so much for joining me. Stay tuned to the channel for parts 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, however many I end up having this week for the updates that I have for you. So, again, thank you. If you're new, remember to subscribe. That's really, it really helps me out. Give the like, the thumbs up. That really helps the videos and helps other people discover my channel. So thank you. How many times can I say thank you? I will see you all next time here on the Spargur Yarn Crafts podcast channel. Thanks.